Hello everyone, welcome to CNA, the daily newspaper analysis. Today we are back with the following list of topics to discuss. So let's start. The first topic says about open verifiable forest cover data. So today it has been seen that India is one of the few countries to have a scientific system of periodic forest cover assessment that provides valuable inputs for planning, policy formulation, and evidence-based decision making. So, in recent terms, what we have seen is that the Forest Survey of India publishes its biennial state of forest reports in 1987, and then from it is regularly going ahead with this particular report. Okay, so today we know that the Forest Survey of India has listed 4 categories of forest. Number one is the very dense forest, where we can see that the canopy density is around 70%, moderate dense forest, where the canopy density is 40%, open forest, where the canopy density is 10%, and scrub, where the canopy density is less than 10%. So therefore, today we could see that the new category, which is not a forest, which may be isolated or small patches of trees, which are less than 1 hectare, can be labeled as open verifiable forest cover data. So you can see that today the satellite images has shown about the losses in forest cover, and therefore we can see that in India, land recorded as forest in revenue records or proclaimed as forest under the forest laws is described as a recorded forest area. And therefore, we can see that recently such number of forest cover has declined, and therefore such number of estimations has directly come upon. Okay, so therefore today we have seen that India's forest cover has increased to around 21.7% in 21. Adding to this national 2.913 cover estimated in 2021, the country's total green cover now stands at 24.62 on paper. Okay, but today we could see that the various categories can be seen with respective to these elements, and therefore we can see that the aggressive conservation policies and programs where the government needs to strengthen forest conservation policies and programs to promote the sustainable use and management of forests and trees. Also, we could see about promoting sustainable forest management practices like agroforestry, silvopasture, and mixed use landscapes can enhance the productivity and resilience of the forest. So today, if we use technology for monitoring and enforcement, and also if the individuals and communities where they can play a crucial role in protecting these forests and trees by adopting various number of sustainable resources and practices, and also we could make aware people about the importance of the forest and the respective environment with respective to the ecosystem. So therefore today it has been discussed about the verifiable forest cover data which has recently been published by the Forest Survey of India. Okay, next we could see whip in State Assembly of Parliament. So we have seen that recently the Supreme Court has said that members of the House are bound by the whip, and if any section of MLA within a political party of a ruling coalition said it does not want to go with the alliance, the MLAs will attract disqualification, and the Supreme Court has observed this orally on this particular day. So we all know about a whip, where the concept of whip was inherited from the colonial British rule. If it is used in parliamentary parlance often for floor management by political parties in the legislature. So a whip is a written order that political party issues to its member for being present for an important vote, or that they vote only in a particular way. So the term is derived from the old British practice of whipping in lawmakers to follow the party line. So the office of whip is mentioned neither in the Constitution of India, nor in the rules of the House, nor in the parliamentary statute. So it is based on convention of the parliamentary government. So therefore, today we could see that we have got whips like the 1-line whip, the 2-line whip, as well as the 3-line whip. Okay, so therefore the 1-line whip informs the members about a vote. The 2-line whip issues to direct the members to be present in the House at the time of voting, and the 3-line whip issued to members directing them to vote as per the party line. So therefore, they has got various number of functions in association with the whip. So therefore, if a MP violate his party's whip, he may face expulsion from the House under the Anti-Defection Act. And the only exception is that when more than a third of legislatures vote against the directive, effectively splitting the respective party. So therefore, this has been recently been observed even by the Supreme Court, and therefore this particular whip is was in use. Okay, next. Combining social welfare and capital markets through SSE. So it has been discussed about SSE, which says about the social stock exchange. So what is the social stock exchange? So we could see that the idea of social stock exchange as a platform for listing social enterprise, voluntary and welfare organizations so that they can raise capital was mooted in Union Budget 2019-20. So social enterprise can be defined as a non-loss, non-dividend paying company created and designed to address a social problem. So therefore, it works under the market regulator of SEBI, and the aim of the initiative is to help social and voluntary organizations which work for social causes to raise capital as equity or debt or a unit of mutual fund. So therefore, it will provide a new and cheaper sources of financing for social welfare projects while showcasing India's independence from foreign aid. So therefore, this SSE already exists in countries such as Singapore, UK, Canada, amongst others. So therefore, today we know that India is a home to more than 2 million social enterprises, be it profit or non-profit, and hence the recommendation regarding listing of this non-profit organization on social stock exchange need careful planning. So therefore, while formulating such recommendations for India, it is required to have an extensive and cautious approach in terms of accreditation, valuation, and monitoring. So there is a need to learn from the other countries, example in London, where the SSE acts more as a directory connecting social enterprises with potential investors, while in Canada as an online platform where even retail investors can invest in funds or companies with social impact. So therefore, we can see that therefore the market of SSE is very much aggravating today in our country, and therefore we could see that the National Stock Exchange of India has received the final approval of this SEBI, that is the Security and Exchange Board of India, to set up this social stock exchanges. Okay, chalo next पे आते हैं. Coral reefs damage. So we could see about the types of coral reefs that we can see. So we know about the coral reefs are created by millions of tiny polyps forming a large carbonate structures. So these coral reefs are the largest living structures on the planet and the only living structures to be visible from the space. So these corals are found across the world's ocean in both shallow and deep water, but reef building corals are only found in shallow tropical and subtropical waters. So this is because the algae found in their tissues need light for photosynthesis and they prefer warm temperatures between 22 to 29 degrees Celsius. So we can see that in the whole world, we can find three types of coral reefs. One is the atoll, another one is the fringing reef, and the third one is the barrier reef. Okay, so we can find there's three main types of coral reefs, that is fringing, barrier, and atoll. So the most common type of reefs is the fringing reefs, and this type of reefs grows seaward directly off from the shore. So they form borders along the shoreline and surrounding islands. Okay, so we can see that we have got four coral reef areas in our country: the Gulf of Mannar, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, and the Gulf of Kutch. So today the coral bleachings are in maximum. So we could see that recently there has been various number of causes for this coral bleachings, which is damaging these coral reefs. Supposedly, the warm sea temperature, okay, that is the extreme low tides, ocean acidification, diseases, ocean pollution, sedimentation, anthropogenic threat, and also the predators, which is making the coral health down. So therefore, today, if we have to see and protect these coral reefs, we have to go ahead with some of the initiatives which is focused on different aspects of research, information sharing, conservation, and management related to these coral reefs. So today, as many as 10% of the coral reefs have degraded, and another 30% are likely to disappear within the next 20 years across the globe. So according to biologists, if proper conservation and management measures are not taken, all coral reefs of Indo-Malayan region may disappear in the next 40 years. So therefore, we could see that coral reefs is basically coming towards a respective uh, like extinction if this particular things is duly followed in the coming times. Okay, chalo. Next, lastly, editorial lessons from Turkey. So it has been said about the Turkey and its respective causes. Okay, so we have seen about the recent catastrophe that has landed in Turkey, and because of this, today the destruction of Turkey has caused an warning sign for India. So with smaller number of tremors felt in Meghalaya and Uttarakhand, geologists have warned a probable massive earthquake in the Himalayan region. And therefore, in this regard, the observations made by the Delhi High Court must be given serious attention. So the court has asked the state government to file a status report and action plan on the structural safety of buildings in Delhi. So while the demand by the court is valid, we cannot rely on the judiciary to make our cities well prepared for an earthquake. So the government with limited capacity cannot audit the buildings of a city in a matter of weeks. So since 58% of Indian landmass is vulnerable to earthquakes, the question raised by the court need policy response. So today, India has got existing earthquake preparedness policies, okay, but it has got certain number of drawbacks. So therefore, if we have some number of proper codes as well as some number of initiatives, basically taken from developed and earthquake effective countries like Japan as well as areas like San Francisco, so we could directly make the cities of us very much more safer as compared to of today. So therefore, the urban policy should start with surveys and audits, and they can generate earthquake vulnerability maps, showing a part of the city that is part prone to serious damage. So should use four criteria, that is the percentage of vulnerable structures in the area, the availability of evacuations, the distances and nearest open ground, the density of population, and location of nearest relief services and time within which it can directly reach. So this map can be used for providing enforcement, incentives, and response center crossing the urban terrain. So an earthquake preparedness policy will require a visionary, radical, and transformative approach, and the existing urban centers will have areas that will be beyond repair. So people have been denial of such threats and hence will lack political will to execute such transformation. So earthquake is not considered fatal until it occurs. So the ongoing Urban 20 meetings are an excellent opportunity for exchanging international knowledge on earthquake preparedness. So therefore, earthquake preparedness policy in urban renewal programs must be made part of Smart Cities mission. It should be unwise to wait for another earthquake to learn such preparedness. So therefore, we should learn with respectively what happened in Turkey and their respective lack of preparedness, and we should come up with the time being today when the earthquake has still not arrived. Okay, but since 58% of India is coming under earthquake prone zones, so we must be well prepared with every other areas to be safer from this high magnitude of earthquakes that can be felt in the coming times. Okay, so this was with the respective editorial. Okay, so we have this 500 MCQs. Please do attempt these MCQs and do join our WhatsApp and Telegram channel for further updates. So that's all for today. Thank you and Jai Hind.